everybody turn to page 8 in module 2 in your construction math module. Now, this is going to tie in with the group project that you're going to do in a little bit that I passed you out the papers and the rulers for. We're going to go through this using the sequence that they have, and the point of this is we're going to be doing measurement conversions, and then we're going to find out, we're going to take the center block, and we're working on how to build a foundational footer for a building, okay? So, they give you a picture of a cinder block. It's much better than what I'm going to draw, but I will tell you, I have also put up a video online, and y'all do not pick on my drawing. I am not an artist. How many of y'all are familiar with a cinder block, though? You know roughly what they are?
Yes.
Y'all ever seen them before? Any of you tried to throw them at your siblings or anything like that? All right. So, a standard construction block is going to be, and what are the dimensions that they give us? 16 inches. How wide? 8 inches wide. How high?
8.
All right, so 16 by 8 by 8, right? Now, the first thing you're going to notice is 16 inches isn't a foot, right? All right, so what part of this is that we're going to be working on is we're going to first figure out what the linear footage of the perimeter of this building is. And what we're looking at is before we build a building, we have a footer wall that's built before you even build the slab, all right? So we're going to be going up. How many courses does it say in the instructions? Did you see that? We're going to be going up 3 courses, okay? So 3 courses high, where we're going to be figuring out running the concrete blocks all the way around for all the walls. And we're going to go up 3 courses. Y'all follow me? In other words, when it's done, y'all seen how these go together before, right? They stack like that. We're looking at 1, 2, 3 courses high. Got it? And then on a job site, what would happen is then it would come back in and you would pour concrete up to that bottom course, and that would be your finished floor height. Okay? So this is kind of the footer wall, the footer and the foundational footer that we're working on. So let's first of all go over the dimensions that they're giving us in the book. What do we have? Do we have all the wall dimensions? Do we got one for this wall? What is it? 46 what?
Inches.
Let's go 46 feet. Now, when we're talking about measurements, if I go look at over here where I wrote 16 inches, you see I got 2 marks up there? That means inches. Over here, when I put 1 mark beside it, that's feet. Everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be 46 feet. This is 16 inches and 8 inches. Remember that as we move forward. All right, how about this wall? Do we got anything? How about this wall? 8? And that's for this section here, right? How about this wall? 30?
30 feet.
All right. How about this wall? They give us nothing here. How about here? 10. Now do not be writing these down on your sheets there. How about right here? 20. Here? Here? All right, y'all following along good then. How about here? 38 feet. Okay, so now we can see clearly. Before we can figure out the complete length of the perimeter walls, right, that whole linear footage, we've got to do what first? We got to fill in some blanks, don't we? Do we have enough information there to start doing some deductions, right? And use our critical thinking to figure out what those missing walls are. All right, so let's figure it out. We got right here, what do we have? 46. What do we have here?
8.
So now we know we have information that will give us a dimension from there to there, right? And that dimension would be what? 54, because we're gonna add 46 plus 8, and we know now that from here to there is 54. Can we figure out from the north to the far south? All right, how do we do that? Officially, can we do it yet?
No.
Good. All right, so if we know that this is 54, all right, that's 8 right there, and this is squared off, so this is going to be what? 8. That's 10. What is this? What are these going to be?
10.
Right, because they're drawn, although my drawing isn't symmetrical, the one in the book is, right? So mine's definitely not the scale, but correct. We can fill those in because of this, right?
Yes.
Now, how about this one?
8.
Now we've got some information, right? Because we go 8 plus what?
28.
Plus
8.
is what?
46.
36 plus 8?
42.
36 plus 8?
44.
And we were supposed to have, so that means this is 10. So now add our measurements going this way along this wall. 10 plus 8
18.
plus 8,
26.
26 plus 20 plus 8, 54. So that works, right? Now we filled in the missing wall, so what can we figure out? We got 38 here. What's plus 10 is what?
48.
Now we know from there to there it's going to be 48. So we got to have the same thing over here from there to there, correct? You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Let me know if you don't follow. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
We've got 30. We've got 10. That's what?
40.
We've got to get to what?
48.
So what's this missing wall here?
8.
All right, now, have we successfully filled in all of our walls? So now we can add them up, correct? All right, let's do that. I'm going to erase some of these numbers on the outside so we don't get confused and get the wrong one. Is everybody following what we're doing by figuring out those missing dimensions? All right? Make sure I don't erase one of the dimensions we're supposed to have. So, as general practice, and you're going to want to do this on this project that we're doing, trust me, because you don't want to lose track or count something twice. Always in the field when I was doing something, when I was pulling measurements or checking anything out, or making a count, right, of whether I was counting something on a drawing, I would always make a mark at where I started. All right, now you can make the mark however you want to. Up here on the board so y'all can see it, I'm going to make a really big mark. And that way, as I go across, you know, I can keep track. And then at some point, and on this one, it may not be as difficult, but sometimes you may start counting things and forget where you started, right? And we'll also reverse it. So let's go around and let's add this up. Let's see if we can find what the actual linear perimeter footage is for this building. Let's go this way first. What we got?
46.
We got 46. Don't skip on me. I heard you. You already got the answer, Liliana? All right, well, what'd you say it was?
224.
All right, we're going to see if that's right. 46,
Plus 8.
54.
54,
62.
62.
92.
You staying with me. 92, 100. Here's a good point. Right there. I might even write a 100 there so I know that that's where I kind of got to in case I lose my spot, right? Let's keep going.
110.
So y'all got quiet when we did that 8 to 158, right? 166.
224.
224. Okay, so we'll write it like that. Here's a quick hint, guys. If you're adding 8 to anything, let's say it's 54 plus 8. What's 54 plus 10?
64.
Minus 2.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. 8 is always just 10 minus 2. So like, you basically just are going to add, take 2 away from that last number anytime you're adding 8 to it as you move up, right? 77 plus 8, 85, right? Just take 2 away from that second number. All right, y'all ready? Let's go back the other way and make sure that we get the same number that Liliana told us we were supposed to get. Good job, Liliana. Let's go this way.
38, 48, 58.
66.
84.
84.
94. 114.
114. 124. Where we at? Come on, come on. 124. 132. 162. 170. 178 plus 50 is 228 minus 4 is 224, right? And I did that again. I turned 46 into 50 because I could go right and add the 50 easily and then take my 4 away. I always try. That's a good practice to use. So we got 224 both ways. Everybody feel good about 224 feet?
Yeah.
All right. So our perimeter. It's 224 feet. Now, we can get down to the business of what we're going to do for this thing, right? Because now we got to figure out, convert it over. We want to know how many blocks it's going to take because this is the beginning of the job site. We've got to order material, right? So we need to know how many blocks do we want to get. We don't want to go and buy 500 blocks more than what we need, right? So let's figure out, let's see if we can get this down as close as we can. And let's first of all do one course. Because once we find one course, all we got to do to find the rest of it is do what? Multiply times. If we find the first course, and we want to go 3 courses high, once we find the answer for one course, we just multiply by what? 3, right? So, what do? We've got 224 feet. We need to know how many 16 by 8 inch blocks we're going to put up. Now, I will give you this hint. We're going to put them up like that to where each time we put one up, we're taking up 16 inches of linear space. Right? So what's the first thing we need to do? We've got 224 feet. We got a 16-inch block. What would you do first?
224 times 6. 224 times 12.
224 times 12. And why would you do that, sir?
To get that in inches.
Gavin, very good. Gavin said we're going to multiply 224 times 12 so that we can get this perimeter in inches. Why do we want the perimeter in inches? Because the blocks are in inches and then we can divide them, right? Outstanding. So 224, and that's feet, so how many inches are in a foot? He's dead on it. So we'll take that footage, 224, we're going to multiply times 12. What do we get? Come on, put your brains on it. Let's work, let's work.
What is it? I know what I'm
2,600.
2680?
88.
I was about to say there better be an 8 at the end. 2688. All right. So now we've got our perimeter is 224 feet or 2,688 inches. Who's not following so far? Everybody with us? So what do we do now?
Now you
5 by 16.
We divide by 16. 2688 divided by 16. What do we get? 1 times 16. Y'all work with me.
168. 168.
How many? 16 and go into 108 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. And 3, that's a 9. 128. You said that goes 8? 4. You got it. So 168. That tells us we need what? For one course, we've got to have what?
168 blocks.
We've got to have 168 blocks. Are we done? We want to go 2 feet high.
Alright, so multiply that times 3.
168 times 3. And then our answer is going to be what? 3 times 8? 3 times 6?
18.
Plus 2?
20.
3 times 1?
504.
So we need 504 blocks to do the whole thing. To do that perimeter 2 feet high. 2 feet high, 3 courses. Let's come back over here real quick. Let's look at something. And y'all can use this and practice with this when you're doing your own project here in just a second, all right? Let's go back to that footage a second. Well, what do we do to find our blocks? Somebody got the calculators out? Somebody do this for me. 224 times 0.75. Tell me what you got.
168. 168.
Does that number sound familiar?
Wait.
Yes. 168 blocks.
224 times 0.75 gives us 168. Then we can multiply it times 3 and we would get what? 504. Now wait a second, Coach. What did you just do?
What did you do, Coach?
Okay, what did we do a minute ago? We took 224 and we did what was the first step?
Turn it to inches.
We multiplied it times what?
12.
And then what did we do?
And we divide.
We divided it by what?
16.
So we multiplied by 12, then we divided by 16. Somebody reduce that fraction for me.
175.
3 over 40.
75.
It equals 3/4 or 0.75. So now that I can see that y'all can work through the other stuff and you did well with it, I'll give you the shortcut. Once you find your perimeter footage, multiply it times 0.75 and then just multiply by the number of courses you're going. Perimeter footage times 0.75 gives you the number of blocks that you're going to need for one course. Everybody straight? Everybody good? All right, here's the project. I'm going to get you started. I want you to get started. The first thing, you've got blank dimensions. You've got to determine the dimensions. And I want you working on it as a group. Okay? So what I would suggest is discuss real quickly or start working. Each of you decide to do a couple of walls apiece, and then y'all can collectively put those together and double check each other. Your scale is 1/8 of an inch to 1 foot. Okay, so that means every time, and we went over the ruler to tape measures yesterday, right? Every time you see 1/8 of an inch on your ruler, that equates to a foot. So the first step I want you to do is using that, learning how to scale. I'm going to be coming around checking with you. Learn how to scale that out, write those dimensions down, working together as a team, but you're also working individually within that team concept, okay? After you figure out the dimensions, and you scaled it off, we're then going to build our block wall, and we're going to go, everybody paying attention? Everybody paying attention? I want this one to be 32 inches high.
32 inches high.
Yeah. So then you can take, you know each block is 8 inches high, so that should tell you how many courses I want.
How many courses you
I want it 32 inches
want? You
high.
want 4 courses?
If that gives me 32 inches high,
8
then
times
yes
4
ma'am.
is 32,
Well, yes, ma'am, you figured it out. You might could have kept that to yourself, it may have helped one of your competitors out. Yeah, y'all going against each other. All right, go ahead and start getting the measurements, I'm gonna come around and check. You keep going for it. How you looking, Kelvin? You started doing any medical tests? Have y'all signed walls already? Huh? Yeah, like wall or whatever. Make it up, speed up the process. Also, make sure you're using this side. Hey guys, these rulers have standard on one side and metric on the other. You should be able to know how to tell the difference. You're going to be using the standard for this exercise. If it doesn't, then it's just standard. So make sure you're using the standard. I'll show you again. Your scale and thing, make sure. Right there is actually zero. Yeah. Here's a little trick I always do it, it's called burning. I'll put my one mark on it, so that way it's, I forget it, and then I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 forces equal to how many? Yeah, use that wise. Yeah, don't worry about the 16. Round it to like 3 and 3. Hey, yeah. Yeah. Or 3 and 1 8. Either one. Hey guys, I will tell you this. If you're coming up with anything that falls into a 16, don't fret that. That could be a difference in the way it came off of the copier. I limited the measurement fractions to either quarters or 1/8 for this first project. If you have gotten it detailed down to a 16, I'm not gonna fuss with you. But on a 1/8 to 1 foot scale, 1/16 would represent that nearest foot for what we're doing here. Yes. Don't start with n, that would be 0. Or you could start at the 1 and do what we call burning it in. And that way you can put your line exactly where you want it to be. So either way. So if you start at 1 and it goes to 5, then the measurement's 4, right? Yep. Good job. How we coming along? Good? Struggling? You can walk around with that too. If you're going deeper. You can walk around with that. Alright, what's our stroke? What do you have a question? It's 1 inch. Are you measuring the inches first? And then you're gonna convert it over by multiplying?
No, pero yo estoy bien.
I would come. Huh? Which wall? I'll still determine who's gonna do which wall. Okay? Looks like you've already got one wall. Have you already done one? You got this killed? A little bit? Alright. Hey, let me run a couple things by y'all real quick. Everybody, let me get your attention real quick. Some folks are, whichever way fits better with the way you might process it in your own mind is fine with me. I've noticed some of you are just counting the eighths, right? Or you're going 8 feet, 16, 24, and then you're going like that. That's fine, that's great. I've noticed some of you are just writing down this 3.5 inches, right? And then you're gonna go back after you've written down the measurement, and then you're gonna go back and do your math. If that works best for you, that's fine too. Find a way that works best for you. Just remember to make sure that you are making the correct conversion of 1/8 of an inch to a foot, okay? And I'm gonna keep coming around and seeing how you're doing, all right? All right, what we got so far? What, have you got a measurement for this wall yet, or is you guys got that? Okay, so are y'all combining that? All right, so now you've got the inches, right? You've got that there is 4.5 inches, but now you got to convert that using the scale to see how many feet that would be. So if there's 1/8 of an inch is equal to 1 foot, that means each inch is equal to how many feet? How many feet are in each inch? If an 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot, then 8/8 of an inch equals how many? Right here. If just from there to there, right, equals 1 foot, there's 8 of those in an inch, right? So 1 inch equals how many feet? So now you've got 4.5 inches. Oh yeah. Now it goes 4.5 times 8. 4.5 times 8. What's 4 times 8?
All right.
32. What's a half times 8? What's a half of 8?
No, it's not.
So 32 and 4 is 36. Right. So that means this whole wall is 36 feet. Make a foot mark, and then mark them 4.5 out. Now you've got to take each of these and take them in inches and turn them into feet. Okay? So like 1 inch equals how many feet? Equals 8 feet, right? That wall is 8 feet. See what I'm saying? Alright, so each of y'all start doing that. Take the inch measurement and then start multiplying it times 8. And that convert it to feet. I'll come back around for that. I'm coming over here. Alright, so we're converting it. You're making little marks all over the place. So we're converting the 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot, right? So then 4.5 inches equals what? Multiply times 8. Let's take 4.5 and multiply times 8.
I just massage my fingers.
So guys, remember, if 1/8 of an inch, and everybody listen, as you're working on these, if 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot, then 1 full inch equals how many feet? 8, right? So 1 inch on your ruler equals 8 feet. 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. So 8/8 of an inch, which is 1 inch, equals 8 feet. Right? So anytime you're measuring your walls and you get however many inches that wall is, take that and multiply that times 8. So if your wall is 3.5 inches, you multiply it times 8 and you get that wall in real life is going to be what? What's 3.5 times 8? 28. Whoever said that, yes. Right? So that's where y'all should be at now if you haven't already gotten there. So make sure you're converting all of your dimensions. From what I've seen so far going around, most of you are doing a really good job with the measurement part. Now we've got to do that conversion part, right?
Yes.
How you coming along? You already converted yours to feet? What's our total perimeter?
I would add it up to 5.
Does everybody else, y'all all have the same thing? So you're starting to add up and get your perimeter? When you get,
Wait a minute. We might have no, we might have the same, right here.
you better check yours too.
We got the same.
Let me know when you get your total perimeter, and let me know, read it out.
And here.
Yeah.
I got 47 for this.
So once you add yours, do like I did, go around this way, remember the way we showed you? And then come back, double check it, figure out what that total perimeter is. Once you get that, call it out to me, or call me back over, okay? All right. How we going over here, ladies? Have y'all figured it all out? Y'all already got the full answer?
Yeah,
What you got? What we got? What we got?
perimeter
Okay.
this was our start right
So what's the next step? Find out how many blocks, excuse me. You gotta find out how many blocks you need for one board.
4 courses.
Hey guys, no pressure on you gentlemen over here, but these ladies are really, really close to getting the correct answer.
Yes, sir, ladies.
They're kicking y'all, don't be cheering for them.
Are we going to get some?
Yeah, cause if they win, they get the 100, and then the second place gets a 90. Last place is gonna get like a 40. Y'all better bust it up. Don't be looking on their paper. Hey, don't let him cheat.
Right, 672.
Don't tell it, don't say it out loud. You can
We get it right. Come on.
But don't give them the answer.
Get off of me.
Turn around and do your work. Hang on a second, let me check you over here. Cause I think we might have found the future architect. You've got this stuff figured out good.
Right,
How many is one course?
one course is 16.
It's crazy. That was unplanned, I promise. Make sure I know what one course is and then what you did to get that answer.
One course
And don't say anything else out loud, because these boys will be trying to cheat off of you. What you got, sir?
We need help.
Wait, I know it. Hold tight, I'll come back to you. The ladies have found the correct answer.
We need
What's your question? I got it.
Watson, we need help.
Okay, so you've got this converted to feet, right?
No. Oh, yeah.
So now you gotta add all the footage all the way around to get the total perimeter. Remember how we did that up there?
So add all these up,
Now, all the numbers.
All your footage, not the inches, but your footages. So right, 28, 38. Add those up, that gives you the perimeter. And then what do you do?
5 by what? 16? 12?
You multiply by,
Oh, multiply, identify.
right. Or you can use that 0.75 factor I gave you.
So I multiply by what?
Also, add on the money, that one
Once you get the total footage, you multiply that times 12 and then divide it by 16. Okay, I'll come back and check on you. Get somebody checking to make sure y'all's footages are correct. Yes, sir. Yeah, what was the perimeter footage?
224. 224. You said times what?
That was not planned either. I drew this up random during my planning period this morning, just using that with the straight edge and making sure that the measurements matched up either on eighths and quarters. I had no clue that the perimeter was gonna be the same as the other book. That was crazy. I don't know what Kayla's recording right now. She went to sleep on me. That is correct. All right, second place right here. Oh.
And what the third place give?
Let's go.
40.
What we got?
Fourth place gets the last one.
Y'all got one perimeter, right? You got it? How'd you get that? 224 times 6? All right. Everyone else, y'all got dominated today, but I did see, once y'all started to turn that final corner, everybody's answers started coming pretty quick. But the ladies by far were multiple minutes ahead of you guys. So, now, you must give them their due and give them that round of applause that they deserve, because they kicked your butt. Let's go. Good job. Who says ladies can't be in here, right? All right. All right, go have a seat. Sit that down. All right, guys, I'm going to make sure your name and your name is on your individual sheet of paper. If you still have some work to tidy up on it, make sure that's straight. And I want to see on it, before you turn it in, listen, I want to see the total perimeter footage. I want to see the inch conversion over. I want to see the number of blocks written down for one course, and then the total number of blocks for all 4 courses, okay? Make sure all of that data is written down. You can write it in the middle of that building if you want to, and then I will collect those up at the end of it. Overall, good job. We'll pick back up tomorrow and finish up that study guide, and then we will be testing on Thursday, Module 2, all right? Tidy this stuff up, and we'll pick it up here in a minute.